everybody, this is Love and Sparkles, aka Cindy. I am still working on Lady of the Forest, which is beautiful, guys. For those of you who have it, beautiful. It's a lot of green, a lot of green, a lot of green, I will give you that. But very beautiful. And as you can see, well, maybe you can't. Let me see if I can up you some so you can see what I got here. Down here, where the white would be, I put little half pearls. And let me see if I can get you over here to where I'm working. Yeah, there we go. Almost. There we go. Now you're where I'm working. Okay, and I'm working right in here. Let me get my good old glasses on so I can actually see. Oh. And I'm using my pen that was made for me for the event. Now the tray, I'm using it to hold stuff, and I'm using my NYX. Let me see where my camera is. Okay. The submarine, and this is the dragon scale. I think that's the color, dragon scale. And it is really chilled down here. I've actually got my fireplace going, and thought I'd just come hang out with y'all for a couple bit. And I bought some Starbucks gingerbread coffee. So my coffee is gingerbread flavored, which is very good, by the way. And so I'm having my cup of coffee and a little diamond painting, a little hanging out with y'all. And that's how it is. Now I did, for those that are following the event, I did go into that was the shadow of my cat just flying by. I did go into the event page and post a bunch of stuff about crystals. A lot of stuff about crystals. Me, I get in trouble when I go in a crystal store. You know, they're all shiny and sparkly and glittery, and oh yeah, I can really do some damage to my pocketbook in a crystal store. Or a credit card, whichever one I have to break down and use, but I can do some damage. So, yeah. And it's gotten, I think we had our first official freeze last night. And it's actually chilly in my house, but I never change it from 69 or 70. One of those all the time. And so my heat has not come on because it has not got, well, actually it's popping on every once in a while, so it's like in the 60s in my house, like low 60s. But it's a chilly. So I turned on my fireplace. Which is really neat. Now I could do a wood fire, but I quit doing that about 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago. Because, you know, A, you gotta go find your tree. B, you gotta chop the tree down. C, you gotta cut it all up. And then you gotta split it. And then you gotta stack it. And then you gotta haul it in your house and burn it. And then you get all these wolf spiders that have decided they want to take up residence in your wood box. And then you have, of course, once it gets so much, you got to clean all the ashes out. And you got to clean the flue and the chimney out so that you don't catch on fire from it. So I was watching, you know, good old QVC one day, and they had this thing, and it looked like a fire, and it had logs, and it has what looks like flames, and lo and behold, you can even turn sound on and make it sound like a hickory fire, you know, with the popping and the snapping and the crackling. And then you just kind of adjust it to the heat that comes from it's right for you. But it looks like a fireplace. I mean, it literally looks like you have a fire in your fireplace. And I was like, you know what? I am all down for that. And it gives me just enough heat in this front part of the house where I hang out that I can leave my real heater set low, and it don't have to run all the time, because this keeps me fine, and I like a cool bedroom, so that's fine. And in my bathroom I have a little electric heater that I set on 64, and so when it gets below 64 in my bathroom, that'll come on. It's got a little fan and makes my bathroom where it's, you know, civilized. Because there ain't nothing like running around naked in your bathroom and it being just freezing. You're like, I want out of here. In my bathroom, I don't know about y'all, but I like my bathroom to be somewhere I like to hang out, you know, take a hot bath, sit in there, hang out for a little while, turn on, you know, the Echo, you know, on some music and kick back and relax. So, yeah. Freezing was not something I wanted to do in there. So that's how that is set up. And so it's on the chilly side. But I got it all set up. I got my coffee and I'm all set up here. The event's been going very good. Both first prize packs are out in the mail. The first one's been received. The subbed giveaway has been mailed out. The Me Please was mailed out. So, you know, I am all caught up on that. So, we're happy about that. I hope everyone is enjoying their gifts that they're getting and their prize packs and all. This one here, I did add, like, these A's. I added jellies. So it kind of gives an extra little highlight to the dress curve there. I did buy, and I bought it for this, and I don't know if I'm actually going to use it for this. I may go rip my princesses out of their frame and use that frame for this, and then use because it's one of those, like Rachel Ray used a long time ago, where you have to put it together, and it sticks to the sides, and yeah, it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and I could use it with the princesses and know that this is actually being protected and well in an actual covered frame, because I have one for the princess which was a 70 by 100, I think, and this is a 70 by, I thought it was a 75, but it's actually a 70. It's a 70 by 98, so it's right in there. And if you see this shadow, that is Luna. That's my kitty. She gets jealous of the diamond painting sometimes and has to come. You know, you're putting a shadow where I can't see anything since I'm using the light pad. I'm not using light pad. And she loves the plastic. I don't know if anyone else has a cat that is like this, but she loves the plastic on these paintings. Like when I pull off the plastic and throw, you know, put it down and go to throw it away, and she just doesn't run off with it. She likes the crinkle on it, I think. Hi, girl. She's done terrorizing the dogs for a little while, because yes, she will just flat terrorize these dogs. You'll look up and she's like hanging off their head and riding on their backs. I don't care how big the dog is. She has no fear of these puppy dogs. And they just kind of look at her like, ugh. Because she's a very small cat. I mean, she's full grown, but she's a very small cat. And they just look at her like, you are a pain in my backside, go away. But I got her when she was 6 weeks old. I mean, she was little. She could fit in the palm of my hand. And they just looked at her like, you are our baby. We are going to take care of you. No one's going to bother you. I mean, they were very protective of her. And so she has no fear of, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I don't let her out because I did, I know as much as everyone's against declawing, she still tries to scratch without claws. So I would have no furniture if I hadn't. But I did it at the same time that I had her fixed. So we did it all at once. And I have a vet that likes to keep any animals that he has done for 2 to 3 days at no charge, no extra charge. I say that's part of his fee. And so the 3 worst days she spent, at the vet so that she could get pain medicine. He doesn't like to just hand it out, but if he keeps them, he will give it to them. So that's the way I did it. I just went and got her on the 3rd day, and by then she wasn't that bad. And it was like, hey, don't put litter in her cat box, put paper shavings for so long, and that kind of way. It was either paper shavings or the big crystals so that it couldn't get caught in her feet. I told him, I said, I already do the big crystals. Because I found that with the crystals, there is no smell. Because it just dehydrates it right down. I mean, it soaks up in urine. But with the other, it dries it out immediately. Just sucks all the moisture out of it. So that it has no smell. And if it gets to where it doesn't smell to me, but it does to her, she'll let me know. Because she'll kind of go over and act like she's going to pee on something. And I'm like, no, you don't. I'll go clean your cat box. I get the point. Speaking about furry creatures, I don't know what I did with my tweezers, but I see a hair. So I'm going to try and get it up with my scissors or get it to where I can grab it. Oh, dang it. There we go. Got it. That's the other, I figured out real quick, you put my hair back or I'll sit there and diamond paint my hair right into the picture. It's like, oh, good. It is in the picture. No. That's not good. And I did go see my little ones because I went and dropped off something at my daughter's house when I had to go see one doctor. Canceled the other doctor because I was like, no, I'm not driving 40 miles each way 3 times because I got a birthday party for a grandson this Saturday, and I had a doctor change up sleeping medicine on Monday, and I was told my front desk, I was like, I'm canceling Wednesday. Just canceling Wednesday. I was like, I can't drive 80 miles 3 times this week. I'm just not down for that. So, because normally today would be my therapy session, and I was just like, no, not down for that. And so, hi, y'all, my therapist today. Even though I'm in a pretty good place. We finally got my meds leveled out. Oh, my Lord. Because when you're working on getting your meds leveled out, that is the most god-awful experience. Until you find the right one. The one that works for you. Because they all don't work for everybody. And so we went through a few of them. And I was like, no, this one's making me crazy. And this one's not doing nothing. So we finally found one that does work. And of course, they all want to start with the lowest dose and work up. And so it took a little bit to get to the right dose. And they have given up on trying to make me go to bed at 9 o'clock and get up early in the morning. I was like, yeah, no. So I like to stay up till 3 or 4 and then go to bed. And I'll wake up when I wake up. And I have a picture of most of this. I just did a review for DAC, so you can get those 200 points. And of course, they have a coupon out. It's Treat 20. And you'll get 20% off of your order as long as it's over $75. And I really liked Druid. I mean, that was a nice picture. And I like the autumn puppies. I did like the autumn puppy. Yes, it's round for those that hate round. So if you don't like round, don't go for autumn puppies. But I liked autumn puppies. And so I went ahead and got autumn puppies and Druid. And it took it down to like 124. And I always do Sezzle, which breaks it down into 4 payments. So it's like I'll pay that out over 2 months. So it's like, yeah, that's not so bad. And here in a while, because after I finish one day, I do want to do God a Secret, because that thing is just so pretty. Love all the blue. I love the blues in that picture. And so I may do it, and I might, because it's got all them spiders. You know, I don't like spiders, but it's got all them spiders, so I might hang it in my actual craft room to where you won't see it unless you're in the craft room. Which, believe it or not, when my daughter-in-law and grandson, and he brought his girlfriend with him, came to visit last week. In the first place, my daughter-in-law took my son's girlfriend was my craft room. Come see this. So, you know, it would be pictures in there. This one is going up in my bedroom, and it will go up on the wall. It will. And Bad Day at the Office will probably go up in the hallway. Because as soon as I finish this one, I'm going to pull that back out, because I was about a quarter done with it and start working on it again. So we'll start working on it again. Get it finished. That was my tribute to nursing, because I said that's how you feel as a nurse. And you do. You really felt like you was being chased by all them little skeletons, and yeah. That is not a career for the faint at heart. It is very tough. It eats its young. I mean, it will literally chew you up and spit you out until you develop a backbone and stand up for yourself. And then it depends on what you're doing as to whether they like that you got a backbone, but that's the only way you're going to survive. So, I mean, to the point that the last place I worked before I medically retired, everybody on weekend shift. I was out on FMLA, and I got a text from my manager saying, I don't know who you'll work with when you get back, but they all just up and quit this weekend. And I was like, whoa. And they had been talking about it, but they said that, you know, we got to do it as a group. We can't do it just one of us. It's got to be the whole group of us to make a point. Because they always ran a super short-staffed and you know, just let the hospital and the physicians just do whatever they want. And, you know, we were just supposed to suck it up and go work all over the hospital and make our unit be short, because we're filling in for all these other units, so that our manager would look like the super manager, because she's loaning all our people out. And we just kind of got fed up with it. And basically they just all said, we're done. And they went and got jobs somewhere else and turned in their notice and was like, yes. And they were gone. It was like, if I had gone back to work, I wouldn't have known the soul I was working with. It was that kind of turnover. And to be truthful, I bet it had no impact whatsoever, other than they're working under better situations. In fact, they're talking about 40% of our hospitals in my state closing down. And I bet you it ends up being one of them. I really do. Because It was just crazy. It was crazy loads. And it's not like we had, surgical floor, medical floor, this floor, that floor, everything. We were just the floor. And everything piled in there. So it didn't matter what it was, you got it. And of course, they didn't want to say some of the stuff we shouldn't have had. It should have gone to a bigger facility. And of course, they don't want to say that because they don't want to, limit themselves down. So it was like, no, we can do that. Yeah, we can do that. And so, yeah. And then if you stand up for yourself, you're gone. Because they don't want to hear nothing negative. Nothing negative. Everything's good. Everything's good. And it was a hospital that was similar to the first hospital I worked in when I graduated up in northern Maine. And on my way out, I ended up working in a similar kind of facility. The only good thing is the hospitalists were all interns in their last year of medical school. And at least they spoke English most of the time. Understandable English to where you could actually understand what they were saying. And instead of that broken English and you're going, pardon me, pardon me, pardon me, pardon me? And looking like an idiot because all you're saying is pardon me. Because if you don't, and you sit there and do what you think they said, then you're going to go down, and you're going to go down hard. And I mean really hard. And nowadays, you work as a nurse, you better know your stuff, because if they tell you to do something, or they tell you to do a procedure that the lawyers or Google or whatever doesn't think was quite right, you're going to go down for following the doctor's order. And what they don't realize is, as a nurse, you can't make up your own. And I can tell you right now, no facility is going to back you. Because they don't want to lose their doctors. And the doctors want their nurses to listen to them and do exactly what they say. So, it's a big catch-22. Hopefully, for the sake of the ones who are staying, they will get it figured out. Because otherwise, nurses are going to end up in a big wad of hurt. See, guys? Oh, I'm sorry about my legs moving. So it moves because I'm working on my light pad on my legs on my couch. Because my kitchen table is half full of packages still. Because I could have, if I had my kitchen table, I could have done this one on the kitchen table. And then y'all would have had, the perfect setup. But right now, I'm still on the couch. Now, once I get all the prizes out and take all of my craft stuff back to my craft room, I might actually be able to work on the kitchen table. At least do my whipping chats on the kitchen table. And, I might find that that's kind of enjoyable. You guys probably will, because nothing moves. I am at, on my Haid, I'm almost to where I have a draft table back. I'm at 29% left. So I'm up to 71%. So that's phenomenal. I'm just like kicking the steam on it. And let me see, what else is going on in my world? Well, my son's coming up, and I think I'm going to let him do. I have, it was my original, it was a heavy-duty extension cord, an outside one, that my ex-husband, when we had the pool, had buried underneath the ground. And somehow, when my dad was mowing one day, he pulled the thing completely out of the ground and ran over it. Chopped it in half. And I thought I'd gotten it out of there. Well, me and my dad found it the other day, and it's still plugged in. It's plugged in somewhere underneath the house, which I can't get to. And evidently we never got around to covering it with electrical tape. So occasionally, like if it rains a lot, or if something, an animal or something walks around out there and moves it, it'll move just enough to where that, because the ends were not open. It's all like the fray part that comes out. But you can tell where the plastic is off the wire for a little bit further down. And so it'll catch on that and it'll arc. And when it does, whatever socket it is plugged in under the house is also the one that runs the breaker in my kitchen. The little breaker GFI wall socket, and it'll trip it. And it did it the other night, a couple times in a row. So I finally got a hold of my son, said, what do we do? And he said, get some electrical tape, and he's coming out this weekend. I don't want to electrocute myself. I'm done with that. So I bought the electrical tape, and he said, make sure you have an empty Coke bottle that's dry. And what he's going to do is wrap up the cord and then stick it in the Coke bottle, and then wrap up where it goes in so that it can't. He said that way it's not laying in the water, or water won't be on it at all. It'll be in the dry, it'll be encapsulated until we can figure out, where it's actually plugged, because it's not an easy place to get, because we build a deck on and all kinds of stuff. So that is what we're doing. He's coming up to put out some corn because he's wanting to get a deer, and then I'll have him do that, and then we drive back to his house because it's my grandson's 8th birthday, and I got to go by the other grandkid's house because I'm picking up the 2 boys to take the boys to the birthday party because the granddaughter has a Girl Scout event. So that's what I'm doing on Saturday during the day. And then, of course, Saturday night, I'll be in Nix's Live. We've figured out that my new camera is good enough, and I have headphones. And so she's like, yeah, we'll give it a try. So we'll do that. So that'd be pretty cool. Let me see, anything else? Oh, hopefully, I'm going to try to get a hold of Amber this week and see if she's going to do her whipping chat. And if she doesn't, maybe I will go on and do a little live or something. And we'll just see on that aspect. If I do this event next year, I may not even have a co-host. I may just have, someone help me behind the scenes with the planning and the gathering. And because trying to work around someone else when they do or don't do stuff in your life, I don't want to step on their toes. And, so... And that way you can just kind of gather your own stuff to do. I may just do whipping chats or a live and, talk about nothing. Because, we're good at talking about nothing. We are some of the best nothing people in the world. We got that nothing down. Guys, I don't know if you can see. I think I have it pulled in too much for you to actually see. But I am down to where I have about 7 inches tall, probably about 15 wide, and then a little strip over here. So I am really coming down to the end here. And I am so happy about that. And then, of course, I got tons of black left over, which I'm glad about because I have a big Heaven and Earth Design since the crystal canvas, the crown canvas, which means it's already got the picture, just doesn't have the drills. And it's all 939s and blacks and stuff like that because it's a black cat and, you know, a dark night and a crystal ball. And so I think I might have actually got enough spares gathered up that I can maybe do that thing. I mean, I have one that is a little dragonflies. It's only a 30 by 40. And I think I've got enough. And I know when I finish my hate, I'll have a lot of leftover drills. Just because of the way that person I bought them from did them. So I will have them plenty. It looks like it's time I'm going to have to actually break down and vacuum because little fur creatures are shedding right now. Maybe they'll start gathering fur back up since it's so daggum cold. And I would rather have this cold than the 50 Shades of Hades we had all summer. Summer was vicious. Which means I think the winter's going to be vicious because usually when we have really bad summers, we have pretty significant winters. And last winter wasn't really bad. The winter before was pretty impressive. That was the year I had my second surgery. I know I was snowed in at my daughter's house for like 2 weeks because we had like tons of snow. It's like, oh, we're only going to have a little bit. I barely made it out of the hospital before it started, and it was 2 weeks before you could move anywhere because it was more so than we'd had in like umpteen ages. So, yeah, I got a feeling this summer or this winter it's going to be like that. And thank goodness I don't really have to go nowhere before it starts. I'll run down to Dollar General, get anything I might need, and then I will not leave the house until it's like bye-bye. You know, I'll make me a little path going down my stairs to go to the mail. Or for that matter, I could go out the back door and not worry about going down all them steps. Because it pretty much is... The front of my house is like 5 feet off the ground. The back of my house is just like, you know, a couple inches. So I could go out the back. Be a little safer than trying to go out the front. Let's see where it is. Trying to find the sticky. Find the sticky. And like with the Nix's trays, I just put some in there and just shake them and they'll fall down in the rows. And then I just work them. And then when I run out of ones that are down in the rows, I just kind of reshake it. And then the rest of them fall down in the rows. And I just pull up what I need. Now this is not my hot cocoa pen. This is the pen. Let me see if I can get it to focus on it. The pen that was made for this event, which whoever gets the grand prize has the same pen in their prize. So that is really awesome. Love TJ pens. She's got one up right now that's gorgeous, but since I just purchased hot cocoa, I think it's a want, not a need, so I'm going to be good. I already did my want purchase, which was the Druid and Autumn Puppies. And I know some people just really despise rounds, but occasionally I like a round because if it's big enough, because it'll have the detail enough, they're really sparkly, and you can get through them really quickly. Because, you know, squares aren't as easy to get through. Yes, it has more detail. Now, if I'm on a smaller canvas and I want the detail, but I don't want to have to deal with the size, I definitely go round. Because you'll get, you know, more detail for your punch. And I just got so many. I may just stick them on a wheel and tell the wheel to tell me what to add, other than the ones I already got started, because I just want to do so many and I don't know. So I may just put them on a wheel, a little decision wheel, and say, pick for me. I got fairy lights, which I'm either going to do it or the Druid for the Phoenix and Fantasy, because both of those are fantasy based. And so I will do one of those for Phoenix and Fantasy. So I've already got my kits for that, and that's in May, I believe. And I did offer the little Care Bears. So join up for her event, because I've offered to send 5 sets of 3. 6 if you add Rikishas of little Care Bears. Because they're little. I mean, they're little mini cup reminders. Right now, cover mine. Someone was, I was in a whipping chat the other day, and I posted my progress photo in the person's page. And someone went and looked at it and said, you got 11 cover minders on that thing. And I went, yeah, but most of them are like for the event. They're ones that, you know, I had gotten for the event. Like, let me see if I can pull this one. This one is one that is for the event. I was like, I liked it so much, I went ahead and purchased me one, as well as getting one for the grand prize winner. So I just have it on here. And it's summer from the, because I always pull my things out of when I open up, I can't think, backs, you know, and they have the cover minders. I always go pull my cover minders out, even though I put it back away. And I actually can't remember if I don't even think I did an unboxing on Warm Witch and Fairy Lights. I'll have to go check. It might have been one of those that I accidentally deleted, because, you know, I went through and was cleaning out my phone. My new phone does wonderful photos, wonderful videos, but I don't have as much memory in it as I did. And I've just now started pushing everything over to Amazon Photos, because I found out I have unlimited Amazon photo storage due to the fact that I have Prime. So it's like, yeah, I'll put it in your cloud if I don't have to pay for it. That way I don't lose anything. I just hate the fact that it's not my phone and I just can't pull it up. I have to go find it and then pull it back up, pull it in, and download it. But the cool thing is when you have it in there, you can actually like put it on a mug or put it on, things. So if I got pictures of my grandkids or whatever, I can make things. But I've been doing so much with diamond painting, it's like I don't want to come up with another one because I just don't have the time to do the diamond painting and another craft. So I just stick to one. Just stick to one. I mean, I used to crochet a lot, make blankets and what have you. And it's been so long since I've done it, I can't remember the stitches really, and I don't feel like having to sit down and relearn it. I mean, maybe it's like bicycle riding and it'll come back really quick. But it's like, yeah, no. And yarn's not cheap anymore. It used to when I did it. Yarn was fairly reasonable. Unless I wanted to do something super special and went to the, a special yarn store and got it. Nowadays, yarn's expensive, guys. Yarn's expensive. So it's, yeah, pass on that. I mean, like, one thing of cheap yarn is like $6-7, and most things you do take 3 or 4 of them. So it's like, yeah, this isn't like it used to be, where I, buy a crap ton of it and do a bunch of things, and it was fairly reasonable. It was like $3 a skein. Because everyone wants to get their buck, and they keep raising their prices, not realizing the higher you raise your prices, the less you're going to sell of it. You will sell more by having more reasonable prices. Because if your prices are reasonable, then people are like, oh, I can get 4 or 5, 6. And you'll sell more of it. That's just like, and these companies that say, oh, we're going to go international now. I've been in 2, and I won't join anymore because they've done that. They go international, they hike their prices. Once they do that, to get the American support, it's kind of rough. So it's like, yeah, no. It is, yep, no. Now, I might do a whip and chat on how to put on the color street nails, since I'm giving a lot of them out. Because there's little tips and tricks you can do on those to make it a little easier. And they will last for about 2 weeks. When you take them off, don't peel them off, because that it's just like peeling off acrylic. It'll take a whole layer of your freaking nail with it. Basically, just take your nail polish remover and just sit it on there and let it sit for a couple minutes, and then you can take it off. If you put them on your feet, they will stay for months. I mean, months. I don't know what the deal is with the difference. I mean, it's because I usually use the biggest one and a smaller one from the nail set, and can do my feet with the same one I do my nails with. And let me tell you, those on my hands I have to take off, and ones on my feet, they'll be there 3 months later. It's like unreal. I don't know, man. Just like, you look down there and go, wow, look how much that toenail grew. You just don't realize that those things will stay on your toes forever. At least you have rocking toes. When my girlfriend was over here a couple of weeks ago, she got lucky. Because I used to go to events, big events, and set up these big display things, put the nails on. And those display things were not cheap. They were not cheap. And I had 6 of them. And she was here, and I was like, you know what, would you like this? I said, and I gave her my Christmas tree where you clip your nails on. I gave her a board that said, welcome. that had a wire thing that you slide your nails in. I gave her a bunch of decorations for your table for different times of year. I mean, I gave her tons of stuff. And I said, all I'm going to ask is $60. And she looked at me, and I think the price tag was still on the tree and the board. And the board was like 30 something, and the tree was like 25. And so basically she got the others, and I guess she had been checking them out and realized what a good deal she was getting. Plus they were already where I put the backs on them and done all the work to get them set up to make them displayable. And so she was like, you got it? What's your Cash App? I'll Cash App you as soon as I get home. And so she left here with like bags and bags and bags of stuff. Oh, and I gave her bags, and I gave her a $40 Nail Boss mug, you know, one of those big Yeti things that are like $40. I gave her a big Yeti thing that said Nail Boss, and I mean, it was like, oh my gosh. I kept my I Run a Girl Gang. I was like, that couldn't kind of apply to YouTube. I mean, even though there are guys in here. But, you know, I was like, I could just take a marker and mark out I Run a Gang and just make it I Run a Gang. And I might do that. Or buy some, you know, pink enamel paint and just paint over the girl and just how I Run a Gang. But I gave her the Nail Boss. I gave her all my, they're kind of like aprons, but basically they're where you keep your extra pamphlets and your money and, you know, your square reader and all that. And you wear them. They're almost like waitress aprons. And, you know, and they had Color Street on them and all this. I mean, she was just like so happy. And I'm the one that got her in the business. So, and she keeps begging me to go back. And I'm like, no. So the only way I made money at that was doing big, big events. And I said, I know you don't think that the virus is still out there, but I know it is. And I just don't feel like being in that big of crowds. Because I don't think I'm going to die from it, but I know I can get really sick. And I just don't want to be that sick. I was like, I'm not down for that. I don't want to be that sick. And so it was like, okay. I said, plus, you know, they branched out where now they do a bunch of other stuff and they've raised the prices. And I was like, no. Because they've gone where their $11 nail is now like $13, and the $13 nail is like $15. So they've been up on their prices. So I was like, no, I am good. And they restrict how you can sell, so you can't go on Marketplace. You know, you can't. I mean, it's like, you can do like a Facebook private group or a YouTube, but you have to be really careful because everyone gripes. I said, well, they got more customers than I did by doing that. And so it's just like, it's nuts. I told my girlfriend, I said, well, they're really going to love me because eventually whatever I don't give away, I will sell on, you know, the Marketplace. And she goes, you can't sell there. I said, I can now because I am no longer a stylist. I said, so I can kind of do what I want with them. And right now, I've just been giving them away. I kept a few that I really like because I'll eventually, you know, put some back on. But as far as, you know, ones I don't like, because I like the sparkly ones, you know. I mean, sparkly. I just don't know. But I will do a how to apply your color street nails video. Just because in the prize packs, people got color street nails. They could either, you can give them to your family, you can give them to your friends, or you can keep them and use them for yourself. So, you know, it does not hurt my feelings because not everybody's down for nails. And then, I hope everyone is enjoying this. I'm just trying to keep it, you know, just kind of like all over the place. There's not one set thing. It's kind of how my brain works. I figured out I must have ADD. I mean, I'm not hyperactive, but supposedly if you do a lot of crafts and just like flick from one to the other and you gotta have all the goodies for it, that's supposed to be a sign of ADD. And I did ceramics once, and I went as far as I had a kiln in my house. And I had the greenware, and I had all kinds of glazes, and I had all the stuff, and I mean, just massive. But then you go to another one, and then next thing you know, you have all its stuff. I've done quilting and had all its super stuff. And then I did, oh, what was another one I did? I did cross stitch, and I had every color scheme. I mean, I had different, you know, but I got, this is so much like cross stitch. And I can see the beads. And cross stitch, I got to where I could not see it. I couldn't, you know, it was a pain in the butt to get the needle, and I was always poking myself. And so it's like, this is the best of both worlds. It's kind of course, it's much bigger than a cross stitch, but it's kind of like a cross stitch, but not a cross stitch. So I was like, all right, that's awesome. Because it's kind of like still be doing a cross stitch, but not a cross stitch. It's like, I could so love that. I think, is that? I'm trying to see if that is an L. No, that's just a slash. Or the slash. The slashy slash. Oh no, those are L's. I finally got the rest of the other side, so those are L's. So I'll just put those in there because those are L's. Because I was like, they don't quite look like a slash, but couldn't tell they were an L. But they were L's. Let me see where I'm at. Oh, I'm at close to an hour. So this is my whip and chat on Lady of the Forest. We've almost finished this area that I was working on. And every once in a while you can feel one that is up and just pop it down. And you can actually feel them pop down. The only thing on this one that should be raised is these pearls. Because everything that's down here in the bottom of this girl is a half pearl. This one, alright. There. Yeah, see? You heard it. Okay, so I'm going to get off of here. If you would like to follow me, hit subscribe. If you like this video, hit like. If you'd like to see more, come back. Save me with your little bell. Make sure the bell turns black. That means when I have something go up, you'll get notified. If you leave the bell clear, it means you can find me, but I don't just pop up for you. Love you all. I will see you all later. And y'all have a fantastic, wonderful day. Bye.